We're going to give this one a try. Is this a little bit louder? Okay, our last speaker is Rick Wass from the We the People Foundation.
All right, Rick.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
I probably don't need a speaker. Some 200 or so years ago, a group of men got together and we formed a document called the United States Constitution. That document set out and laid out the plans for a government of limited authority, very limited power. The Supreme Court of the United States has long interpreted that if authority is not given in the Constitution, it is prohibited. Nowhere in the Constitution of the United States is there any authority for a central banking system. None. The Federal Reserve is unconstitutional, period.
Period.
Now, you won't get that challenge before any court in the United States, and it's no coincidence the last 100 years it hasn't been before them, is because those politicians in black robes by that building we were standing before are nothing more than politicians. They will dismiss your case, use a myriad of walls to stop you from getting forth any challenge to the constitutionality of the Federal Reserve. Also, there are money clauses in the Constitution. Specifically, it tells the federal government that you have the right to coin money and regulate the value thereof. Clearly, history tells us coin money means gold and silver coin, not paper. There is no authority in the Constitution for fiat currency, for worthless paper. Federal Reserve notes are unconstitutional. The reason why gold and silver coin were supposed to be the only money of the United States is because when we use gold and silver coin, the wealth stays in the hands of each of us. There is no need for banks when you have gold and silver coin. Everybody can take home their own money, put it in their pocket, bury it in the floor, bury it out in the yard, and bring it out 1,000 years from now, and it'll purchase the same amount of goods as it did 1,000 years before. Gold coins and silver coins have maintained their purchasing power for the last 2,000 years since the Roman Empire. Fiat currency, worthless paper, we're constantly having to try to get interest and chase more money and invest it just so it maintains its buying power. Now, let me tell you about inflation, how unconstitutional this is. There is no inflation with gold and silver coin, okay? With paper money, your wealth is always in the hands of the bankers. It's always on their computer, and they can hit the delete button and wipe you out anytime they want.
No more.
Inflation works like this. You go to work, you make $1,000, you bring it home, okay? Today, let's just say you could buy 500 loaves of bread with that 1,000 Federal Reserve notes. If you took that money and you said, I want to keep that for my retirement, and you went and put those Federal Reserve notes in a drawer or in a box, and 30 years from now you retired, you went to the store and you say, I'd like my 500 loaves of bread with my 1,000 Federal Reserve notes, they tell you, sorry, you only get 200 loaves of bread. Inflation has wiped out the purchasing power of your money. But how could that be? Nobody has taken 1 penny of that money away, yet the purchasing power, the wealth, has been stolen and diminished. Your labor has been stolen. That would never happen with gold and silver coin. The first 20 years that the Federal Reserve was enacted, their paper money was just a receipt redeemable for the real money, which was gold and silver. Then in the 1930s, they did away with that and went on with this fiat worthless paper, which has left complete unconstitutional system.
A dollar is a nickel. Audit the Fed. A dollar is a nickel.
Now,
audit the Fed.
The First Amendment of the United States Constitution guarantees us 5 rights. The last one is called the capstone right. It says you have the right to petition your government for redress of grievance. Redress means a remedy of your grievances. Well, there's an organization of We the People, thousands of us across the country, by the We the People Foundation, has petitioned our government, delivered petitions to all the members of Congress, to the White House. They literally knocked on the guardhouse of the White House and handed petitions specifically about the Federal Reserve and the unconstitutional nature of the Federal Reserve and its fiat currency. They also petitioned the government for our Second Amendment rights, that wars, our unconstitutional wars waged across the world, and a series of other unconstitutional acts. To this day, the federal government will not answer the people's petitions.
Neither would King George.
This here is a petition. We are petitioning our government for redress of grievances. We will get no response from this whatsoever. Our response was, we can't even do it in Federal Plaza. What is a free people to do in response to this? The answer we've been waiting decades for. We, the people of the United States, are forming a Continental Congress. Delegates are being picked from all 50 states right now. There will be an election a month from now, and in November, a Continental Congress will convene with delegates from all 50 states. Read this poster. We have information on it. Get involved. We will convene in November, and the people, we are retracing the steps of the Founding Fathers to decide what are we to do, acting as one voice across the country to deal with our out-of-control government and a Federal Reserve that runs the entire country, if not the entire world.
Audit the Fed!
Now, what is our remedy? Well, our remedy has been already laid out for us in the founding document of the United States. That founding document is not the Constitution, it is the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence is the founding document. The Constitution was the follow-up document that we limited government's authority. And in the founding document, the Declaration of Independence, they said, but when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Our government has strapped us with this unconstitutional Federal Reserve that we must band together and throw off. We must get our federal government in line, and the remedy is the Continental Congress. I cannot be prouder today to stand here shoulder to shoulder with my fellow Americans in defiance of tyranny.
No tyranny! Freedom!
God bless America, and God bless the Constitution of the United States.
God bless.